Today you're going to get started on working on your one-pager book project for the independent reading unit. If your book is not currently done, you are not going to be starting the project today. If you don't have your book here, you are going to be starting the project based on what you remember from the book. So I'm going to go through and explain what each part of the project is going to look like. You are not going to be making a slideshow. This is going to be a poster presentation to show the understanding of your book. On that poster, there are going to be different components to it, and that's what this slideshow is going to share with you. So the first section of the poster will be talking about your plot. So you use complete sentences to explain the big moment or climax problem in your story. You're also going to need to explain how it was fixed or resolved at the end of the story. This will be at least 3 sentences, and you should have a detailed picture to show what happened with it. Character traits. Character traits, remember, are words to describe our characters. You'll be using complete sentences to explain 2 character traits for your main character only, and use evidence from your text to support. You will need to be using your book for this. You will need to find the evidence. You will need to use page numbers to help you explain. You'll pull quotes to help prove your point that your character is kind, or your character is brave, or your character is thoughtful, or your character is annoying. But you need to be able to prove your point using your actual book. The next section of the poster will be all about theme. You've already completed a paragraph writing of theme, so you can use that for your poster. Obviously, you're going to want to fix it up and make it nice and neat so it looks good for the poster. In this spot, you'll be explaining the theme of your story and using at least 2 pieces of evidence from the text to support. So your reasons, your examples from your story to prove that the theme is what you said it is. This should be at least 4 sentences, if not more. The next section is going to be a book review. A book review describes different parts of your book, but also explains how the author did. Do you think they did a really good job, or they did a poor job in their characters, or the setting, or the theme of the story wasn't easy to understand? If you really read your book and you did a good job of understanding it, you should be able to say, yeah, the author did do a good job, or they didn't do a good job in keeping your mind engaged in what you were reading. So you're just going to be explaining that. You might want to include that you would rate it 4 out of 5 stars and why you would do so. Okay. The next thing you will be writing about is a book summary. The summary is different than the review, and it is also different than the plot section that you have already completed. The book summary is a smaller, condensed version of the actual book. You're only including key events in the book summary, not every single event, because then you would be doing a retell and not a summary. You'll want to use transition words to get from one point to the next when explaining the book summary. First, then, next, finally. Throughout the poster, you will have pictures and symbols that will help represent your understanding of the book, the characters, the setting, the theme. It should be creative, it should be artistic, and it should be your best work. Spelling, punctuation, and neatness. Spelling will matter. Complete sentences will matter. You will want punctuation to end your sentences. If you have too many mistakes or it's super sloppy, it will look distracting. And when it's distracting, it takes away from the overall presentation. Remember, this is worth 60% of your final grade, so you want to do a good job. Here are some examples of what your poster might look like when done. You'll notice this one has a lot of color on the page, and we have the different sections that they're explaining. This one does not have a lot of pictures. That's the one hiccup I see with it. I would love it if it had more pictures explaining what's going on in the story. Here's a few more examples. Again, more pictures involved. They have quotes from the text. They have writing all around it. You can kind of figure out how you want to set your poster up as far as where the sections go, but you do need to incorporate all of the ones I mentioned in the previous slides. And finally, this one, the words are written right within the picture, which I think is a cool rendition of completing the poster. You'll notice on the posters, you should have your title of your book and the author, as well as your own name. If you don't have enough space on the front side of the poster, you can flip it to the back to do your book summary. This is a template that you could use for sectioning off the different pieces that you need to include on your poster. You'll have the plot, you'll have the theme, character traits, book review, book title, author, your name, and the hour, pictures. This does not show the summary. That would be on the back side of this page to make sure that you had enough space. Today you're purely planning out your poster. You can use scrap paper or lined paper to do so. I'm not giving you your poster until you show me a completed rough draft of what your piece will look like. If you have any questions, obviously you can rewatch this recording. You can raise your hand and ask me, and I will be more than willing to assist you. And I can't wait to see what you create.